Hello, Mr. Richardson. This is Hal Jacobs, PGA professional at Worcester Country Club, just reviewing our golf lessons from July 1st, 2011. And if you remember, we did just a couple of things. It was pretty nice because we were only working on one change in your setup and really one thing going into the golf swing. Take a look. This is your setup beforehand, before we changed anything. And I wanted you to get your hands a little bit lower. I think this is just going to promote an up and down swing, which ends up being a little bit of a high shot. A couple guys that you might want to think about emulating in terms of setup is Peter Lonard. He's got your similar build. This is him at impact. Let me get this back to address. So if you can see the difference in your address positions, he's got a little bit more weight towards the balls of his feet, and his chest a little bit more over his hands. And that's just going to allow him to hit some shots and be a little more consistent in terms of ball flight and stuff like that. So let me just draw a few lines here while I'm talking. Here is, we'll draw the same lines on you too, but it's pretty important that we don't go above this line on the top and to the right of this line over here. I'm going to draw his spine angle, which is pretty much where his spine sits on his body. I'm going to draw the shaft plane, which goes that way. And the last line I'm going to draw is kind of down his butt to see how that turns out. And if we come over here and draw similar lines on you, get the shaft plane up here and get your spine angle, which is quite a bit standing up a little bit more than his is. And let's just draw this line down here. So as you take the club back, a tiny bit inside, I'm not too worried about that. Your head stays really good, which is one of the reasons why you can hit the ball the way you do. Contrast that to Peter Lonard, and he gets the club. Take a look at where his hands are in relationship to his, I could see a whole lot more of his neck. You use the term flatter. That might be a decent term to use. But you can see where his hands are in relationship to his shoulders versus yours. And then as we come down in impact, you can see how his spine is just staying in that position. So as you come down in the impact, your spine is pretty good. Coming into impact, it's straightened up a little bit, and your new spine angle is going to look something like this. Sorry about that. Let's try this one. There we go. So ideally, I'd like you to keep your spine angle a little bit better, but that turns back to the second point. So the first point, we changed your address position with your hands. The second point we did was just work on turning your shoulders through the shot a little bit better. At this point, from here through impact, you can see how much your shoulders turn, and you can see you've got a lot of hand movement there. And now finally your shoulders are starting to turn a little bit. And take a look at where the club comes up. Although you're parallel to the plane of your shaft, the club's coming up out of the top part of your shoulder, and look where it's coming out on him, a little bit flatter, which means he's just rotating better through the shot. If we quickly look at the face-on view of him at impact, let's see. That's not what I'm looking for. Alright, so as we get you into impact, you can see the first couple of frames after you hit the shot, your shoulders don't move a whole lot. Your hands kind of just flip out at it, and it looks like almost you're going backwards a little bit. Whereas he comes into impact, and when we get our hands in the same position, look at how much more his shoulders have rotated around. That's going to help him flight the ball much lower and a little more consistent. So those are the two things we worked on, getting your hands a little lower at the address and getting your shoulders to turn a little better through the shot. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me or stop by the shop.